2010, my videos all about recovery from addiction, or being in recovery from addiction to substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol, my behaviour could be equally addictive. Work, relationships, materialism, collecting, you name it. I could collect for anyone or for a country. And I was just talking to my mother earlier. She said something about something Gandhi said. You know, the world could deliver all that we need, but the trouble is we want too much, or rather we want what we don't need. Yes, I didn't need to be an alcoholic, I know that, but I am an alcoholic, and that means I'm in recovery for now, one day at a time. And I stress just for now, I'm in recovery. It's a disease, a mental illness, which is I suppose it is arrested at the moment. It's in arrest, or it's in abeyance. It's always with me, but it's not, and it's not going away. But it's not actually something I'm indulging in right now. At least I hope not. So addiction is something that never goes away, and it's difficult to be in recovery one day at a time. We learn to live life without the filter of drink, or collecting, materialism, workaholism, you name it. It's about finding balance. And anyone who has been in this particular quandary of trying to work out what to do about addiction knows it's all about extremes. The extreme behaviour of not being able to stop doing something compulsively. And I heard news today that a lot of people, young people in society, self-harm. Alcohol is one way of self-harming when it's taken to excess. We think we're doing ourselves a favour by getting out of it or finding oblivion, and sometimes we need to find oblivion because we just cannot cope. But then if it's repetitive, then what happens? Well, we keep on relying on something to fix it, an outside fix. So these days I like to be in recovery, living one day at a time. I spent 35 years not being in recovery, 35 years of being fearful to extremes, putting on a brave face and having a very thin veneer of ego covering up a great big hole inside which I didn't know what to do with. And I never realised that great big hole inside was fulfilling with good things, but not to excess. So the right amount of work, the right amount of relationship, if you like, in the singular sense I've learned, and also the compulsive collecting or wanting has sort of, I don't know where it's gone. It's not with me anymore. And what a relief that is. I mean, I'm breathing a deep sigh of relief when I say that. So recovery is about emotional, spiritual and physical well-being. And I've learned that I cannot do it on my own. I cannot be trying to live life through self-will. Because for me, self-will leads to self-obsession, and self-will run riot. And I've learned this in recovery. I didn't know this beforehand. I didn't know that I was ignorant of my illness. I was completely ignorant, and to an extent I can be today, because there's so much I don't know. But ignorance is not bliss. Not for me anyway. So I like to learn what's keeping me sober on a daily basis. And what helps me more than anything these days is being able to lean on and be a part of a fellowship. And that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And over the last 24 hours there's been some question about what is anonymity and why is it important. And to me, anonymity is extremely important for people to find sanctuary, to find the truth of who they are. So anonymity is intrinsic and necessary sometimes to find out who we are, and then it becomes a personal understanding of what anonymity means to a person, their own viewpoint and their own outlook. And it's not for me to break anonymity of anybody else, but if I feel it's important to share a message of experience, strength and hope to help other people find sobriety, I try and find the right way, which is going to be truthful and not secret. So for me, secrecy doesn't work. Truthful works. Open, honest, willing, living works. And one of the dangers is if we set ourselves up as something special and different and knowing it all, we can be knocked down by our own ego and knocked down by our own illness and find ourselves right back in the malady of addiction. So there's a great danger that although we speak of recovery, it doesn't mean we're cured. And that's one of the things which is really important to me. My spiritual well-being is contingent on working a program of 12 steps of action which keep me sober. So for me, AA provides those 12 steps of action to change my attitude and behaviour on a daily basis. And I share the AA preamble here and then something from the readings of AA, so that I share a message of hope, experience and strength, hopefully. So the AA preamble reads like this, or the statement of intent. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So although I do these videos, they're not endorsed by anybody, and certainly not by AA. They're my way of sharing a message of experience, strength and hope. So it's my message, and I couldn't say it or share it without having been in the fellowship for some time and continuing to learn. But you know what? I am fallible. I'm not right or wrong. I'm fallible. And I can be susceptible, as anybody else, to going out there and having a relapse and finding that I need to start from scratch again. And I don't mind that. I don't mind knowing that I am a human being just making progress one day at a time. So anonymity for me is not the issue. But anonymity is important. I would never have found recovery without having that opportunity and sanctuary to find out something about the truth to get me on the path of living in recovery. That's as simple as that. So each day is important to me. I start my day and think and feel what is good for me and what is good to be a part of life and be useful. So important. And the daily reading for today is all about that. This book, Daily Reflections, which I share from, simply because it keeps me sober as much as anything else, and it covers the 12 steps of AA, one a month, and it's step 3, which is it's putting ourselves in the care of a higher power, or God, of your understanding. And for me that is the wisdom of the universe. Truth, the absolute truth of now, not my truth, or what I think it is, but the truth of as it unfolds on a daily basis. So I know just as much as I know. Anyway, for March 12th it says this, a day's plan. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest or self-seeking motives. Every day I ask God to kindle within me the fire of His love, so that love burning bright and clear will illuminate my thinking and permit me to do better His will, or for me the good will and good conscience of living. Throughout the day, as I allow outside circumstances to dampen my spirits, I ask God to sear my consciousness with the awareness that I can start my day over any time I choose, 100 times if necessary. And for me, sometimes it is 100 times, and that's okay, because I need to be open to change my attitude and behaviour. So that serenity prayer to God or good conscience, as you choose, saves my bacon. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, is just for today.